to another episode of the Chad Prather Show, Washington, D.C. edition. I'm missing the crew, but I got my main man here with me, Jon Miller. What's up,
Chad?
brother?
It's a pleasure to... Actually, I would say it's a pleasure to be here. I'd rather be in bed now. But,
No, dude, it's a pleasure. Trust me.
It is a pleasure.
It is a pleasure, I'm telling you. Wednesday edition, news and headlines. We're going to get into this stuff here in a minute. But first of all, Jon Miller, host of White House Brief. How's everything going?
Everything's going well. We're here, as you can see, in Washington. For people watching, we're here in Washington, D.C. at the Capitol. Everything's going pretty well, though.
Do you like living in D.C.?
I do not like living in D.C. The people here suck. You know L.A. pretty well. It's like people say D.C. is L.A. for ugly people. Everyone here is fake. Everyone here has an agenda. The entire city is based around one industry, and that's politics. So,
and that's dirty.
Yeah, it is a dirty industry.
It's dirty.
People who spend their life focused on politics, you can't trust.
That and drugs. I've noticed D.C. has got a lot of that.
Yeah, it does.
And that's why you stay so skinny.
I'm trying to spread rumors here. The entire town, though, I mean, I think it's the wettest town in America, is what I heard.
Yeah.
So, a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, and that's how we like it.
But there is a lot of drinking here. Like, I don't normally drink until I come to D.C.,
Cheers.
you know? I mean, Jon, it's only, 10 in the morning, and Jon's already finished his
It's not 10
first.
in the morning. Mm-hmm. It's 10:33.
Is it?
It's 10:33.
Wow, dude. Hey, but that's the thing about coming to D.C. I enjoy coming up here just to kind of see it for a minute, for a couple of days.
Yeah, but then you get to go back to real
leave.
America.
Yeah, go back. But the people are interesting here. You know, I like going out and hanging out, and we did a little bit of that last night, and we wound up in some Russian place.
It wasn't a brothel, but it had brothel vibes.
It had brothel vibes. I'll tell you what it had vibes of. It had vibes of somebody was going to get killed by John Wick later in the night. That was those kind of vibes. Like, I thought we were in the middle of, there were definitely some mafia ties going on there.
Oh, certainly. I mean, you just at the table, and they're playing this weird music. That was a big.
That's called Russian music.
It's called Russian music. It was like Russian hip hop. That was a big spot in D.C. until Donald Trump was elected as president, and then it became a faux pas to go there. Because,
but here's the thing, and I wish I took a picture of it. Where's my phone? I'm going to pull it up. We won't be able to get it on camera, I bet, but I'm going to pull it up. I took a picture of the marquee outside.
Marquee is giving it a lot of credit. It was more of just an awning.
It's kind of an awning, okay? But this, okay, so I'm going to play it. I don't know if you can see this or not right here. It says Russia House. It really looks like a MAGA hat.
It looks like a MAGA hat, yeah.
Doesn't it?
It looks like a MAGA hat.
Like, that right there is enough for me to think of possibly Russision collusion.
We were colluding with Russia at the Russia House.
We went in there, and I was like, I want a martini. And the guy said, oh, you want the Russian vodka. Russian vodka. And I was like,
pickle vodka was delicious, but...
I was a little scared. I was like, I'll drink whatever you pour for me, Vlad. Oh, my goodness. A lot of stuff going on in the news, though, and... it's party time, Mom, in D.C., so don't worry.
Explain that to me, party time,
Party time, Mom. So my mother... a number of weeks ago, she said, I enjoy the podcast. I like watching it. But you guys, when we're in Studio 22 back in Dallas, she said, y'all always turn it into party time. And she said, I don't like party time. And I'm like, well, Mom, it's going to be party time.
Does your mom watch frequently? My mom doesn't watch anymore. She said, this is not my style.
I won't say frequently. But like, okay, so for instance, yesterday's episode that we did with Kendall Jones, of course, Kendall Jones is a big time. She's a huntress. I mean, she's an outdoors woman, and she has killed all the big animals around the world. She's a conservationist, and people don't listen long enough to hear what she's all about. They just think she's, again, quote, trophy hunter. So there was a lot of hate that was popping out on yesterday's episode. A lot of hate. And so stuff like that bothers my mother. Like, she can't. I know you get the
hunting stuff.
Oh, she didn't care about the hunting.
No, I get the hate. The funny thing is my mom loves the hate. My mom's like, your hate mail episodes are my favorite episodes that you do. I'm like, that shouldn't be.
You should do more of those, honestly. We get plenty of it. I refuse to miss
a hate mail
episode. I have my favorite shows on BlazeTV, like many people do, but I'm telling you, the hate mail is the best thing on the entire network.
It keeps coming because I mean, I don't know. I guess it means I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
But the amount of hate that we get, definitely surpasses the amount of love that we get.
But have you ever, and you and I have talked about this, has it ever crossed your mind to sit down and just write a hate letter to somebody you disagree with?
No. In fact, it doesn't even, people are like, well, look, I've gotten tweets saying like, look at the things that people are saying in your comment section.
Yeah.
I'm like, the people in the comment section are a little crazy. I mean, has it ever occurred to you to read a story and be like, you know what, I'm going to comment on that?
Yeah.
I mean, that you have to be very passionate. Exactly.
Never.
And there's some great people in the comment section, but that's where you find the crazy people, is the comment section. And then you have people reacting to the crazy people.
Have you ever noticed, though, like now on Twitter's a different story. Like on Twitter, I will retweet something asinine, because it's a joke and it's funny, and I'll do that. But like Facebook and I've never commented on a YouTube video.
No. And have you? I mean, what the kind of person where you come home from work, worked a long day, take your hat off, pour yourself a drink, and then say, you know what, I'm going to write Anderson Cooper a hate letter. Like that's not that takes a lot. That takes a certain type of person.
I live in a world where I don't care what Anderson Cooper's sucking on. I don't care what he's sucking on. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't offend me. It doesn't bother me. I don't feel the need to disagree with. I mean, whatever.
But so you have to be very passionate of it in that way to sit and write a hate letter. Yeah. And they're illiterate.
Bored.
They're illiterate. So, it's like if you are illiterate and you are taking time out of your schedule to write something, which is clearly not a skill of yours.
It's funny how the illiterate people use the most words.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Use the most words and the least punctuation.
So there are social media trends. Like, for instance, there's, if you ever notice, the person that always does the crazy stuff, they only use one fuzzy, blurry profile picture posted like 35 times on their page, and every time it should, I stand with Orlando, and now it's the French tricolors, and now it's
and it was taken
gay
from a flip phone, which you're like, okay, well that's from 10 years ago. You don't look like that anymore.
But it's weird. The trolls it's a trend. It's a troll trend.
You know what I find fascinating is the people who are the most hateful are the people who have the most diversity as a strength and the most. I love diversity. I love black people, and then they're calling me the N-word in the comments. If someone has a pride, I love Hillary Clinton thing, avatar or whatever, that means that they're throwing around the N-word like it's no.
I love my friend Antonia Okafor. She talked about one of her best ones that she ever got was when they called her the N-word and a white supremacist in the same paragraph.
I haven't gotten that. I've of course gotten that I'm a white supremacist because
you
clearly
are Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, you really are. So anyway, good Lord, there's a lot going on in the world, and I'm saddened. I am saddened by the fire at Notre-Dame. That's a.
No, but they're going to rebuild it.
We will rebuild
in 5 years.
Obama, you didn't build that.
You didn't build that.
You didn't build that.
Somebody else built that.
You didn't build that.
Somebody else made that possible.
A lot of iconic images, and you can see them. A lot of iconic images and graphics coming out of this. It's a sad deal, but yeah, I mean,
it's sad. You know what? I mean, Glenn is getting a lot of flack for saying it was it was taken out of context, but saying that it was 9/11. But when you see that, I mean, was that not the first thing? I mean, especially because Glenn was reacting in live time. Was that not? And especially because it was similar in the sense where you're watching it and you're seeing, oh, I hope they do something about that. That looks real bad.
Yeah.
Like 9/11, and then all of a sudden, the entire thing is in flames.
Yeah.
And it
does draw back some imagery of that. I mean, it's one of those things that there are certain things that you'd never think you'll ever see.
Exactly.
Like the World Trade Towers getting hit by a plane or collapsing. There's certain iconic things that you don't. And I think it's, for me, and I'm still trying to collect my thoughts, so don't criticize me yet.
Well, I'll do that.
But there's something about, there's some symbolism and some imagery here that I think is a bigger metaphor. It's a bigger illustration of some things that are going on in the world today.
Collapse of the West.
The church has become, in many ways, a museum and a mausoleum. It's a call back to the past. It's the church has become something where we showcase dead things, not live things, and the world is suffering because of it. And so eventually I'm going to do a commentary on that, but I don't want to make light of a tragic situation, which I hesitate to use the word tragedy or tragic because lives weren't lost. These are things that you said can be rebuilt.
Yes.
And so there was an opinion piece in the Times, New York Times. It said in this thing, talking about the symbolism, talking about the call for French unity, because France has been in a mess.
For
You've
a
been
long
to
time.
France?
Been to France. I luckily was able to see the Notre-Dame before it, was destroyed.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, if you're from Indiana, it's Notre-Dame,
Notre-Dame.
but whatever.
No, and I'm not from Indiana. I actually called Notre-Dame Notre-Dame, and I looked like an elitist crap.
I never could figure out why Notre-Dame is in France, but Notre Dame is the Fighting Irish.
Right,
It's
right.
a weird
It makes no
thing,
sense.
man. This is Party Foul Steve's not with us, but that's his kind of geography right there. No, I've been to France. My favorite thing is most of the women wear white V-neck T-shirts and they don't wear bras. But that's beside the point. That's another
don't shave their
iconic.
armpits either.
That's another. They don't shave their armpits
Which
or
is
above
weird.
the knees.
You get used to that, though.
There were some friends of mine that I grew up with. They had an exchange student from Sweden, totally not France, Party Foul Steve. And she was everything that you would imagine a Swedish girl should look like.
Yeah.
She was blonde and tall and brown and all that stuff. And I was enamored because I was a teenager and I thought, wow, Sweden really does have it going on. And then I saw her knees and they were hairy and I was like, this is disgusting. But back to the New York Times. It says the delicate spire toppling into an inferno of 800-year-old beams. Here was the best of humankind, as powerful an expression as exists of the sacred going up in black smoke. Civilization is fragile. Democracy is fragile. Like the spire, it is impossible today. It is dangerous to ignore that. When a universal reference goes up in smoke, an abyss opens up.
Yawn.
My thing is, okay, so Europe is a post-Christian society.
Right, and they pride themselves on that.
They pride themselves in that. And I said 30 years ago, I was coming through Frankfurt, Germany, and I made the comment, I said, so goes Europe, so goes America, just give it 20 years. These days, it's like that.
Oh, it's 20 years. I mean, now, the hot takes you see on Twitter that were like, well, good riddance to the Notre-Dame Cathedral because it was built by slaves and it's a sign that the patriarchy is finally collapsing. There are people celebrating the collapse of this church. And like you said, I think a lot of people are upset that it is a museum, and Ilhan Omar is a great example of that on Twitter. She said, art and architecture is something that brings us together. And she got a lot of flack for that. Yes, it is great art, it is great architecture, but I think the reason people were upset by her tweet is because it's something so much more than that.
Yeah.
It is a monument to God.
I saw the tweet, and I didn't want to jump on her for the tweet.
It's not like Ilhan is a terrorist tweet, but it just shows. I mean, especially after she still hasn't come out and said 9/11 was a terrible thing.
No.
So when you are under the spotlight like that, you should acknowledge that it is a Christian symbol. It's a church. It's not just a great piece of architecture.
Yeah.
It is a cathedral.
Yeah, but symbolism aside, I know a lot of folks we'll see what happens. I mean, there are people singing hymns in the streets and things like that. I'm going to go out on a limb here and send the hate mail to John, but I'm going to go on a limb and say that this solidarity is going to last about a day or two. And then they'll be back to...
We don't have solidarity.
There's no solidarity.
We don't have solidarity.
There's no solidarity.
I mean, that was the nice of the New York Times to write that. The reason why I said yawn is because it was just word salad. Someone just being like, well, this is what I'm supposed to say.
This is like Jim Nantz announcing the Masters. One for the ages. You're just putting words together. You're like Al Michaels calling the 1980 Olympics for the hockey team. That beat Russia.
And they say they're going to rebuild it. I'm waiting to see. It took the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
They took them 10 years to rebuild that.
Yeah.
They say they're going to rebuild this in 4 years. We don't have the ability anymore. I mean, we've lost the ability to design, and they have the designs in the church, but first of all, there was some slave labor that went into that, or at least
we got to get some of those.
Yeah, we need to get some of those back.
You can't.
We need to get rid of the laws that say because you can't break people's backs when you're building buildings anymore. So there's some regulations about that.
And this took 100 years to build.
Oh yeah, probably more, right?
Which was fast in those days.
Right.
I mean, you're talking about something built in the 1100s.
Right.
And you take the Cathedral of Milan, which took almost 600 years to build. This is something that people don't think about in this day and age, in this instant society. So listen up, kids. This was something, we were talking about this in studio yesterday. This is something that if you start a project, you're not going to live to see the end of it.
Yep.
That is how much care and time and energy and effort went into a project like Notre-Dame or the Cathedral of Milan or any of these cathedrals that exist in Europe. This is something that was a painstaking effort to go into. And now they're saying there's just no trees big enough in France to replace these beams.
And they were building it for something much bigger. They were building it because it was a cathedral. It was a monument to God. It was something that was bigger than themselves. So the point wasn't like, oh, we can get this fixed in the next 2 years and we'll have it and people will be joining.
Bonjour. Bonjour. We build it comme ci, comme ça. WC, s'il vous plaît. No, the French people are asking where the bathroom is. But you're right, because cathedrals are designed, if you look at the architecture of a cathedral, it is designed to draw the eyes upward towards God. The architecture is high. And so there was something significant, I think, symbolically about that roof falling in and that spire. So we'll see. I mean, we're going to see what's going to happen. I just hope. Why this is news is, yes, it's a tragedy of architecture and, of course, history, but I think our hearts have fallen in long ago.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem that what we have. The problem with America, the problem with Western civilization is Ben Shapiro caught a lot of flack for talking about it being a symbol of Western civilization, which, again, goes back to your comments about slavery and built on the backs of slavery and as slaves and things like that. But the issue that I have is, but our hearts have fallen in long ago, and that's the thing. And I think there's a symbolism there.
And the fact that, I mean, it was built, probably in ways that we would not accept today in 2019. But everyone who was working on it believed in something bigger than themselves, and I think that that's the important thing.
That's well said.
Is that
you're exactly right?
We're working, and that's why they were fine with not finishing it, in their lifetimes, because they knew they were building something that was more important than just. Here's my accomplishment for the day.
Well, okay, so take Elon Musk. Elon Musk says, I have this project I want to accomplish, but I'm never going to finish it. I'm going to allow my great-great-grandchildren to finish this project. That would never happen in the 21st century.
No, because
that's how
about
far
you.
we've come.
Right.
Exactly.
And there's something very admirable about saying, this is for my progeny, this is for the future, this is for, civilization to come. I mean, that people used to care about that. I don't think people care about it anymore.
Well, billionaires do, apparently, because they've donated, they've dedicated themselves to, they say they're going to donate hundreds of millions.
Yeah, they did. It's not, but for me, it's not about the money. Like, the money, I'm sure they can come up with. It's whether they have the will and the ability to actually do it.
We'll see if they carry through on that thing. Because France's three wealthiest families say they're coming to the rescue of the national icon. Yeah. Spearheading a fundraising drive to rebuild Notre-Dame, which is top $700 million. That's a hell of a GoFundMe.
More than I have in my pocket.
Right.
Yeah. I can't donate.
I've seen how you roll, Miller. You got stacks of cash. You're selling meth in DC, aren't you?
No, not cocaine.
Back to the drug. You're selling your body? Are you selling your body?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how much this body's worth. I don't know how much this body's worth.
Have y'all ever in your life seen a black man blush? I can make Jon Miller do it. Yeah.
You know what? It's funny. I get a bunch of letters saying, thank you. You say the things that I wish I could say, but I don't have the balls to say. They say that to me. I think you say the things. You don't make me blush. I just can't believe you're saying them out loud.
I say them out loud.
So
I told
you say
Jon,
the things that
before we started taping, folks, listen, before we started taping, first of all, this is a great production facility that they have here in D.C. I love coming up to D.C., first of all, because my friends are here, and I love hanging out with Jon.
We're not actually friends, though. We just pretend to be on camera.
Well, but no, seriously.
I'm kidding.
I say that because I'm a little bit, I have a crush on Jon. He's like, if I were going to date a black man, if I were going to date a man.
Have you ever dated a black man before?
No, but I made out with one. There was this one time, and I didn't mean to.
Oh, is it?
I didn't mean to.
Yeah, sure.
I was doing it, and then all of a sudden he pulled his wig off, and I was like, hey, Shanika. Your name's Mike. No, I love coming up here. And I think that Jon Miller I think I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, and I'm going to piss some people off, but I think Jon Miller has the best show on BlazeTV. I think you do. No, you come on with it. I'm telling you, White House Brief is the best show on BlazeTV. It's the best thing that Blaze Media Podcasts offers.
Chad Prather show's the best show.
That's not kissing your butt either. So I
appreciate it.
But I love making Jon uncomfortable. And I told him before we got on
you
the
don't make me
thing.
uncomfortable. What it is that you said. So we were at the collusion house.
The collusion house, yes.
And you're saying things that I say to myself. I say, you ask the producers here. I say all the time, we've got people at the table away being like, who is this guy? What is he saying? Giving us looks. I'm like, we're about to get kicked out of this restaurant.
It's okay.
We're gonna get kicked out.
I've been kicked out of nicer Russian places in Moscow. Don't give me Russian vodka. My head still hurts from it. But no, I swear, dude, I told him before we got on here, I said, if you ever just had something that you wanted to blurt out and scream on camera, this is the show for that. It's party time, Mom. Okay. I want to play you guys a clip here. I want to talk about Ilhan Omar, and Nancy Pelosi was asked to give her take on this. Y'all check out this clip and see what I'm talking about.
Do you think, as some in your own party have suggested, that you yourself weren't swift enough to defend Ilhan Omar?
Well, I haven't had a chance to speak with her. I'm traveling, she's traveling, but we couldn't catch up with her until I talked to somebody. I don't even know what was said, but I do know what the president did was not right.
She has no idea what's happening in her party. Every time they ask about her, she's like, "Oh, I have no idea what they said." Here's like the crypt keeper and the crypt itself talking to
Christina Amanbar.
Christina Amanbar. I love her. She's not aware that she's not a global diplomat. she's not aware that she's just an anchor on CNN.
It's just like
why
Ellen.
does she speak like this? She has a very important accent. She's Iranian. That's not how they say
No, she thinks she's Pierce Morgan.
She thinks she's a European.
No, she's like the Ellen DeGeneres thinks she's the gay pope. Like she can absolve Kevin Hart of his sins of homophobic jokes or whatever. But no, you're exactly. So I think Nancy Pelosi just at this point dreads, and I've said it on this show before. I'm going to say it again. Nancy Pelosi, as much as we want to think she's stupid, is not stupid.
Oh, no. I don't think she's stupid at all.
No.
I don't think she's stupid at all. I think she is maybe suffering from dementia.
Yeah.
But she was smart before that hit.
Yeah, there's things going on
well, either
here.
it's dementia or she's morally bankrupt, which
Yeah.
I think, or both.
I will go with both of those.
It was probably both. But
I'll take
it's
both
very
of those
concerning.
for 200, Alex.
She can't form sentences, which is very uncomfortable to watch because she's struggling for basic words. And that is a sign.
Here's what we're going to see happen here. You're going to see this downward spiral progress faster and faster because her mind, her fractured mind is being driven to the point of insanity, dealing with Tlaib and Omar and Ocasio-Cortez.
Yes,
and
the Marxist sisters.
You know that she just absolutely. I mean, I almost picture like what was that witch movie with that crazy girl?
Bewitched?
Like Charmed, or it was Charmed with Milano and Melissa Milano.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And then there was the thing with Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman where they were witch sisters. I almost picture Omar, Tlaib, and Ocasio-Cortez sitting around in a congressional office somewhere, burning candles at a pentagram, and like saying,
and cackling and
dropping eyeballs of a newt into a stew, doing a porridge.
And it's work. Whatever they're doing is working, like a charm.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Because Nancy Pelosi has the caucus, and she's obviously the head of the House and the party. But you are seeing the power of social media, and I think that the energy is with the AOCs, and the energy is with the Ilhan Omars. I mean, it's scary. It really is scary.
Well, the energy's there.
Yeah.
But again, I almost see Pelosi kind of being just a pat on the head of just saying, I don't know what they said, but I'll get with them.
Right.
And I'll talk to them. But I'll go back to what she said about that, because she said, I don't know what. Which crazy one are we talking about? Omar?
Yeah.
She said, I don't know what she said, but I know that the president was wrong. Do you think the president was wrong in that tweet by putting by
playing her own words?
Well, playing her own words in the plane, but then adding the planes. So first of all, and I said this on Monday's episode, Trump did not make the video. Trump's not sitting on a toilet at 3 a.m. all orange with a bikini
let me get Adobe out
on iMovie going, I'm going to put a plane and it's going to be a fabulous. Yeah. So
no, I don't think. No, I don't think he was wrong because she has not taken back those words yet. Ooh. And that's she's said America is great, which her assistant wrote for her, who might be white. But she still has not said, I think to make me comfortable with her words, she would come out and say, you know what? It was a bad clip, but 9/11 was the worst terrorist attack that we've seen on this soil. It was a tragedy. 3,000 Americans were killed in it, and it was a national disgrace. If she came out and said that, I think we'd all be like, okay, that's legit. She hasn't said that.
No.
She hasn't said anything along those lines. We don't know. She hasn't said anything to make us think that she believes that 9/11 was anything more than something that some people did.
Yeah.
That makes me uncomfortable. I think that makes a lot of Americans uncomfortable.
I think that's the point right there. And so, when you talk about death threats coming in, death threats
doesn't get death. Give me a break.
I mean, you get death threats.
Do you not get death threats?
I get death threats.
Everyone gets death threats.
You kidding me? I woke up this morning and cradled my Smith & Wesson
on death threats. I eat death threats for breakfast.
I fingered the trigger of my Smith & Wesson.
So white, you get death threats. Give me a break.
Do
you think she's beautiful?
Death threats. Who?
Omar. I looked at a picture of her, and I said, you know what? She's not that bad. You mistake her for being so ugly because her heart's so ugly. She's not that bad.
No.
I hope she would take that oppressive hood off.
Like what?
But I mean,
Come on, girl.
and take that
Come
punk
out of your shell, baby.
Take that nose ring out of her snot.
Take that Hajiba. Get out of that trash bag and live a little, girl. You're from Minneapolis.
She's not ugly. I wish we had. I should have said this, but I should get in trouble for not producing better. But she's not that ugly. She should just come out of her shell, adopt Christianity.
I'm just happy to know you're attracted to women, John. That's all that matters to me.
She'd
Cheers.
be so much happier.
My friend, if he could get some apple
some
juice.
Omar. Mm-hmm. Yeah, refill this glass.
But Ocasio-Cortez, is she an attractive woman?
Ocasio-Cortez is something where she keeps her mouth shut.
Closed.
Got to keep the mouth shut.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
then it comes out.
Otherwise, it's a mess. Yeah. But she is. I mean, that's her best. I mean, if she keeps her mouth shut, she is a very attractive woman. She opens the mouth and the teeth come out.
Speaking of
and the
witches,
words come out.
Speaking of witches, which one was hotter? Nicole
Rashid
Kidman.
Tlaib is a no-go.
Nicole Kidman or Sandra Bullock, which was the hotter witch?
I'm gonna go with Bullock.
Sandra Bullock? I would have to agree.
Yeah,
have to agree. Although I have seen Nicole Kidman naked.
In person or in a movie?
In a movie.
Yeah,
in a movie. The in-person thing is going to come later.
Yeah, all right.
That's
okay. coming.
But anyway,
how old is Kidman?
But
what is she? Is she in her 50s or 60s
She's got to be
now?
close, too. She's got to be close.
Yeah.
She's mid-40s.
Oh,
my age.
Oh, she's 40s? Okay.
My age.
Okay.
And red hair.
Yeah. That is always a...
Talk amongst yourselves.
I feel bad for white people. They just don't age well.
That's some BS, Jon Miller.
It's
look
not.
at this. I look frumpy today. I'm like, look at me.
As the Russia House will do that to you.
You know what I've discovered is my ears are getting bigger. Look at my ears. What
is it? Your ears never stop growing, or is it your
ears
nose?
And your nose.
Yeah,
they never stop growing.
I got the Obama ears though. Mine are pretty big too. That's why you wear the hat.
That's messed up. No, I wear the hat just because. Look at the head. Look at the head pop up. Bring the head back up.
Where's the head?
There's the head. Oh, there's the head! The head! I never call attention to the head in Studio 22.
What do you do? Explain the head to me.
The head scared the crap out of me one day because I was at the studio there in Dallas and I turned on a light in a closet and I turned around and there was the head. Pull the head all the way up. Go all the way up with the head. And so there's the head. This is an attractive man. This guy with
that's
hair.
a man? I thought that was a bald chick.
No, well, it could be, but that's how pretty he is. Like this guy
That's
would
a guy?
totally.
That's not a guy.
This guy would totally get some action on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, that's not saying much.
That's
not saying much.
It's party time, Mom. So anyway, I turned around and the head was sitting on a box, and it scared me because I was like, "There's a dude's head." You think that's a woman?
It looks like it could. I mean, imagine that with like long blonde hair and.
But there are people, and let me get myself straight here because that's what I do, Johnny. My shirt's falling off. There are people who are going, "What are you talking about the head?" Well, if you watch the Chad Prather show, as you should be on YouTube, and not on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook right now, go over to YouTube and find Chad Prather. Not Nothing's Impossible. Because that's a YouTube page that's stealing all of your stuff and all of my stuff.
I don't know this page. Stop it.
Nothing's Impossible has about 8,000 or 9,000 followers, but I'm telling you, most of our views are coming off of their page.
I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get in trouble here.
No, good. Get in trouble.
I don't know if I mind.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah.
I appreciate
I don't
the
know if I mind it.
sentiment, you know what I'm saying? In that people are putting it out there. And I don't understand how a page, because you have a good following on YouTube.
Right.
Yours is growing. And by the way, go to YouTube and find Jon Miller.
Jon Miller. And now I think I'm the
and
biggest.
That's Jon.
Jon. No,
there's no
H.
H,
No
yeah.
need for that damn H. But I think
He's not Joan. He's Jon.
Biggest Jon Miller on YouTube now, so you can easily find me. We have a huge following on Facebook, obviously. However, the more, I'm more of an idea person, and the more, the ideas are getting out there, I tend to appreciate that. So I don't know if I mind the reposting and sharing stuff.
Yeah.
I understand from a business model, it's probably not.
It's
not
from
the
a
best.
business model, not great. But I'm with you on that.
But as an ideas person, I like the ideas that what I believe and what I'm sharing is getting out there.
See, I wrestle with that too, because I did a video last week, which got 13 million views, but who's
Just a
counting?
casual 13 million. 13 point what?
And, which is a big thing these days, because the virality of videos is getting harder and harder to do.
Right,
Because of
Facebook's clamping
squeeze.
down.
Yeah. But it was shared over 250,000 times. And so I've always said, I don't care about the view count, I care about the shares. Because if it's one thing for you to tell your story, it's another thing for someone to tell your story for you. And that's a big deal. So there's a part of me that's flattered that they think that, and we're the two top ones. Because this person
you gotta give a shout out to our boy Graham.
And I feel bad.
Gotta give him a shout out, man. Come on.
I feel bad because this person has good taste. Has good taste.
Right.
But our legal is still coming for you.
Oh, yeah. We'll let you share it. We'll get it out there, but your ass is grass in a sec.
I appreciate that this episode on Nothing Impossible is going to have 26,000 views. But I would rather it be on Chad Prather page where I have it monetized.
No, I'm torn as well. But I am you go to things like CPAC and you go to these events. And interestingly, because my mom is always saying, well, you're not really convincing anyone when you're shouting in a camera and yelling your views. Interestingly, though,
Does she believe that though?
I think now she's starting to shift, but. The conventional wisdom is in order to get people across the aisle, you have to be more diplomatic, and you have to say, oh, here's this and here's that, and while you believe this, here's what I believe, and here's why you might be wrong. No, people are attracted to the truth, and people want to hear the truth, and the way to convert people to the conservative movement is to speak unapologetically about conservatism. That's how you do it. So, people are attracted to it.
Andrew Breitbart said something, and I'm going to paraphrase it, obviously, but
what? You can't remember the exact quotes?
No, I can't. This is fake news, people. At this
fake
point,
news. We're not going to put a graphic up here.
But here's the thing. Breitbart basically said, and Shapiro's echoed this as well, that it's not, when you get into a debate, it's not about the person you're debating. It's about the people who are listening to the debate. And I think those are the minds that you're winning over. So you do an eloquent and accurate job of doing that. I try to wrap what I'm saying in humor, and make it a little over the top, and that way it sticks with people, because I might only make one point, but hell, with
people remember it.
But
and that's an important thing, because people are always saying, why the over the top? Why someone said it's vaudevillian. I'm like, well, you know what? If people are entertained by it, if people are interested, I mean, I went to Columbia University, probably smartest professors, in the world, but no one remembers a damn thing they're saying because they're so boring. Yeah. And if you're not attracting people with humor or entertainment, it's not gonna, no one's gonna listen. So it doesn't even matter.
That's a funny point. I went to the University of Georgia, and then I went to. I'm overeducated, but a couple of different skills. But it's funny how I can remember certain professors,
right? And
then I remember certain classes, but I could not pick the professor out of a lineup.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
because there were some who knew how to communicate it, and some who didn't.
I mean, communication is so important.
Yeah, I have people all the time who say, the cowboy hat, take the cowboy hat off when you're indoors, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason. I'm going to make only one point, but at least you can.
You remember it.
Hang your hat on it.
One good point, you remember it.
All right, let's move on. Here we go.
Okay.
So, Nancy Pelosi, I mean, back to her point. She's been in there for, 32, 33 years?
Is that it?
You're not stupid.
She's a dinosaur.
And to be able to hang into that.
No, she's not stupid at all.
So let's
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, though, I think she might be.
Can you?
Is she stupid or genius?
She's really dumb.
I can't. I'm vacillating on that too. I'm like, is she? complete
Now,
moron? Or
let me
is
tell you
she-
where she is smart.
She
like-
rocks that social media. She
Okay,
knows
so
social
Party
media.
Foul Steve and I do a little segment on the podcast where I quiz him on history. And I know he doesn't know things, but what he knows really well. Now,
Right.
don't get me wrong. Party Foul Steve is a really smart guy, tons of wisdom. He's street smart. Right. He's a Marine. I mean, this guy's street smart. He's been overseas. He's been in 31 countries. This guy knows some stuff. There's a reason why he travels everywhere we go. He's not here, by the way.
We miss Party Foul Steve.
I miss Party Foul. But I know the things that I can ask him and put him on the spot that he doesn't know. And it makes him look
Stupid.
and the beauty of him is he is confident and strong enough that he can take it.
Yeah.
Now, Ocasio-Cortez, on the other hand, she's a genius when it comes to certain things, like how to put herself out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you ever in a million years think that we would be sitting here on almost a daily basis discussing a girl from the Bronx? Where's she from? The Bronx, right?
No,
Queens?
she's from the Bronx. She's from the Bronx.
The Bronx.
Yeah.
But discussing a girl from the Bronx who is a freshman congressperson,
Right.
and I mean, she's like dictating what
She's running
our
the
talking
Democrat Party.
points. Yeah.
And we can't get enough of it. I mean, every time I'm like, okay, she said this. I don't want to give her the light, but I have to give her the light because she's saying something so stupid.
I'd kiss her.
You got to keep the mouth closed.
That's good. You'd have to be a closed mouth kiss.
Closed mouth kiss.
Party time, Mom. It is party time, Mom. No, but the fact that so many people who have declared to run for president on the left have said, yes, we embrace the new Green Deal.
That to me is fascinating because it's such a stupid piece of legislation. Well, you can't even call it a piece of legislation, but and I have friends on the left. I have plenty of friends on the left who are like, well, the Green New Deal is not such a bad idea. They're going to get rid of carbon emissions in 12 years. They're going to ban cars. They're going to ban airplanes. They're going to ban cow farts. I mean, these are talking points that are, caricatured on the right, but that's what's in the thing.
This
ban hamburgers. I mean,
Green New Deal is like an eighth grader wrote.
Eighth grader. That's giving it way too much credit.
Fifth grader wrote a paper that said if kids rule the world. I mean that's kind of
And you've got major politicians saying, well, this is very astute, and this is something we should adopt. And it's shocking to me.
It's party time, Mom, in the Bronx. Look here. Yeah, I mean that's the dumbest crap I've ever heard in my life. And they're going, oh yeah, this is
something we're gonna adopt.
We need to take this seriously.
Okay.
Do you think that it's because they need to give credence to a person who is a female? I'm sorry, identifies as a female and a person of color.
No, what is cis female? Is that right? Is that what you call?
She's a cis female.
Cis female, yes.
Cis female. I'm a cis male.
Yes. I'm a trans male. That's
I choose to pee standing
Breaking
up
news.
according to my genetics. But do you think it's because they're like, okay, well, here's a woman of color that we need to?
I think it's partially that. I also think it is. She's proven herself to be immensely popular on the left, and I think they're just trying to hitch on to anything that works because they have nothing to offer.
She can dance.
She can dance. I can dance better, but she can dance.
She can dance. I bet you can.
Yeah. They're laughing at me in the control room because they know that's not true.
Can we both do a Carlton? Can we?
No.
Not
I'm going to keep the illusion that
loved by anyone.
I'm going to keep the illusion that I can.
By the way, Jon
I'm
Miller
Michael
and I
Jackson.
are going to kiss each other on the mouth at the end of this episode, so make sure you stay tuned.
Yeah, that's the deep tease right there. No pun intended.
Yeah.
But I think she is. They have no. That's why they're calling everyone a white nationalist because they have no ideas. And so anytime someone proves themselves to have an idea that they think is popular, they're like, oh, we need to do that because they don't. What are they offering the American people?
It's Orange Man Bad. That's all.
Orange Man Bad is
Orange
fascinating.
Man
That's
Bad.
almost as profound as the Green New Deal.
Yeah. I want to know what you hear in your head when someone uses the word nationalism.
I hear Adolf Hitler and Nazism. No, I hear someone. I mean, I have called myself a nationalist before.
Yeah.
I don't really distinguish. I believe that America is the greatest country in the world, unapologetically. Sure. I think that it's something that every American who lives here should believe. And racial nationalism is one thing, but American nationalism, believing that the ideals that we were founded on are great, is nothing to be ashamed of. And protecting our interests and wanting to advance our interests as a nation is something that's not.
Is the head bothering you?
The head is a little distracting. It's a little distracting.
He doesn't move around when we're in Studio 22. There he is. There's the head. Bam. We don't even mention. We don't even.
The entire set just collapses.
We're sitting on a pedestal here, and I'm afraid that John and I are going to break our necks. So do you think Richard Spencer giving an interview in the street should be punched in the head?
No, I don't think anyone should be punched in the head.
No one should be punched in the head.
Well, I mean,
you're a racist.
My nationalism, by the way, is not Richard Spencer nationalism.
Exactly.
I think he is a white nationalist. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly white nationalism is. From what I can understand, it is a group of people who want to create a white ethno-state, which, by the way, America is not, and it certainly is not going to be in a few years. Yeah. So by definition of loving America, you're not loving a white ethno-state. I think the whole thing is ridiculous. So we just have fun with the whole white nationalist thing, my black white nationalist.
You N-word white supremacist. Here's what... There's so many jokes I could make right now. And they're all inappropriate, and I can't say them. It's party time, Mom. Listen, here's what I want to know. Have you ever met... This is what I want to know. Have you ever met a genuine racist?
Never. I've never met one. I do occasionally come across them in the bowels of the internet.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met one. I always say this, and you can't say this because it's very controversial. I don't think I have experienced racism ever. I'm pretty comfortable saying that. There's been instances where it's okay, maybe that was racist. For instance, I get if I'm buying and I said this on one show, I don't remember. If I'm buying an expensive item,
yeah,
they say, "Sir, can I see your ID?" I say, "Sure." Don't make anything of it. Then I'll have a friend come to me and say, the only reason they ask you that is because you're black. Maybe true, but I also know a lot of white people who get card. If you're trying to buy a MacBook Pro, $2,000 up purchase still asks you for your ID. So maybe am I missing subtle?
But you would have to have your antenna out to really grasp that.
Exactly. And then I remember I walked into a store in France, and I looked like a disaster. I was like coming off a plane, so I'm like in sweatpants and
in France?
A baseball cap. Yeah, in France.
Was a girl working there wearing a white V-neck T-shirt with no bra on?
She didn't have any. She had massive armpit hairs, just tufts and tufts and tufts hanging out. When it pokes through the holes in the shirt. But I was watched very closely. So I looked like a hoodlum. So I would have followed myself too. You got to keep your store safe, and I looked like someone who was about to loot the joint. So.
Oh my!
so that's fair. And I think profiling is fantastic.
Have you ever stolen anything, John?
I've never stolen anything.
Oh, God. I think. Bullshit. Sure you have never. Come on, Johnny.
But I think profiling is terrific. I've always said at the airport, you should have one line for the Muslims and one line for everyone else. And then you wouldn't have terrorism.
No, there should be three.
And give them, and make it nice for them. You can make the line for the Muslims, like you give them massages and give them martinis.
There should be a line for the Muslims, a line for us, and a line for the hot chicks. Because 1 and 3 get felt up the most.
Right. No, the problem is the Muslims don't get. They're like, oh, you look like you're about to drive a plane into a building. Go ahead, hot chick, or like little boy. Come here, little boy. I'm gonna fill you up.
I'm laughing at driving a plane. I'm laughing at him saying drive a plane. That's
how you do it. You drive it around.
Do you think that Nancy Pelosi, she had to know what Omar said?
Oh, please. Of course she did.
She had.
She knows everything. She knows
I'm
exactly
traveling,
what she said.
she's traveling, and we just haven't talked.
And then the expert journalist, Christina Amanpour, I'm just going to buy that you don't do it. It's like, first of all, Queen Amidala, you don't know, and you should push back on that because you know that's BS. She's such an important journalist. She should be pushing back on blatant BS from Nancy Pelosi.
So, John, what I would like to ask you is about this.
We have to get our wigs on because they're both in very fascinating.
University professor who questions when the 9/11 memory became sacred. She said,
when is that?
Lavin tweeted her thoughts in response to recent controversy sparked by remarks
controversy.
that Reverend Ilhan Omar made about 9/11 attacks. Can we please put the tweet on the screen?
I need to get that stupid head out of my face.
When did the memory of 9/11 become sacred? In what way and to whom?
Wait, enlighten me. Who is Talia? Who is that?
Lavin.
Who is she?
Lavin. Talia. I mean, we just made her famous. Go follow her on Twitter. Ratio the
Send
out of
basket.
her. But no, that's. I mean,
Oh, you can say that on the show. I would have had such a. Yeah.
you can say married. You can say mierde. You can say scheiss.
Scheiße. I would have had better commentary if I had known that. Thank you for letting me know that. So
Yeah.
late in the game.
Party time.
All right,
Mom.
what were we talking about? What did this stupid girl say?
So she said, I meant this as a genuine question. It was indisputably tragic, world-changing, evil, and despicable,
That's
and
more
a
than Ilhan
turning
Omar can
point
say.
of history. True, but sacred is a particular word with its own religious meanings.
Yeah, well,
and
they
I
said
want to-
Allahu Akbar. So there's some religious measures
There's
there.
a lot of sacredity. I don't even know if that's a word, but it is now, sacredity, with its own religious meanings, and I want to pinpoint that it means to call such a day sacred specifically. Well, let me tell you what sacred is the eternality of human life. And there were 3,000 people that passed into eternity, ready or not. That's not everybody gets to die. I got a dear friend of mine, Tim Lett, one of my best friends of all time, and his father died 2 days ago, and he died the right way. You know what I'm saying when I say that? You know, it's like he lived a great life. He was a good man. He was a great husband and father. And then when the time came, he passed away.
That's what we all
We
hope for. And that's and my grandmother died last year, and that was the same situation. You know, my parents got to see their parents pass away, which is unfortunately not something everyone can say.
Yeah.
And that's and it was an old age and relatively painless, and that's I think what everyone hopes for.
Yeah. And that's my thing is you hope to die on your terms. 9/11 was a different story. People died on the terms of religious zealots who were trying to make a statement, and it was a tragedy. We're literally miles from the Pentagon where that plane crashed into. My state representative from my area was in the Pentagon. His secretary died that day. He's covered in burns on 80% of his body because the only reason he survived is he happened to go to the restroom when the plane crashed. And he lives there where I live in Burleson, Texas, Brian Birdwell. And so, yeah, it's pretty sacred.
Yeah.
He lives with those memories every day. If you look at human life and you believe what the Bible says, that we are created in God's image and those lives were taken, then, yeah, I would say...
Sacred is the right word.
Sacred is actually the right word. Pete Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg, my man.
I love this guy.
This guy's, he's in a one-way jihad against Mike Pence. I mean, poor Mike Pence is just
Like Mike
sitting
Pence
there. This guy is coming after him.
Pence doesn't know he's in a fight.
And Pence has been nothing nice to this guy. This guy's, you know what, if this guy doesn't want to accept
now
me.
let's
It's like,
take a look at Buttigieg. Let's put him up on the screen. Can we put him up on the big screen here? Can we? Because I know he's over my shoulder here.
Yeah, well, I wanna see.
There he is. Now you're a gay man. Does this is this man attractive as a? I mean,
first of all, this guy is pretending to be a millennial.
Pete Buttigieg. I love a gay man with a name like Butt Judge. Look at this. Text Pete to I just threw up. 25859 spells out vomit on your phones, folks. Vomit on your phone. Now, okay,
And everyone's been melting. Oh, isn't that adorable? Okay, we might be ready for this here in America. Is Muhammad bin Salman ready for this? when they have the state dinners, would you bring your beautiful husband and we'll have a stoning ceremony afterwards. We'll take care of that for you.
Is the House of Al Fayed ready for this?
In Riyadh, when they have the state dinners and it's the man and the wife and then this beautiful couple.
Pete 2020.
That's I gotta.
Peter Butt Judge.
It's Butt Geeg.
Butt Geeg.
Where's that? It's Malta, right? That's where he's from.
I don't even know, man.
I mean,
here is the mayor of
South Butt, Indiana.
South Bend, Indiana. This is okay. So South Bend is where Notre-Dame is.
Right.
Notre-Dame, University of Notre-Dame, the Fighting Irish. So we have the representative, the mayor of South Bend, while the real Notre-Dame burns. There is some significant symbolism in this. So you have this Christian cathedral that burns in Notre-Dame, while South Bend, Indiana,
has this.
It becomes Sodom and Gomorrah. This is. Listen, okay, look, I don't care. You know me. I don't care who you kiss. I don't care. I mean, they're not. That's not even a real kiss.
No, look. People who can't see it, the mouth is on the beard stubble.
Yeah, he's kissing his cheek. He's kissing his cheek, which I'm assuming these guys, you get them private, that's not the only cheeks they're kissing. But look, I don't care, but you're exactly right. Is America ready for it? Okay, fine. Maybe. Why did y'all just pop up a Trump-Bernie picture? Were they about to kiss? By the way, John and I are kissing at the end of this, and I'm going to kiss him. I'm going to kiss him straight
right on the
beard stubble. Oh my God!
But
no, the world's not ready for it.
The world's not ready for that. The world's not ready for Bernie, to be quite honest. I mean, can you imagine Bernie dealing with Putin?
Well, he's been to Russia. He's been to Russia. And I want to tell you, Vlad, I want to tell you about my time in Cuba. There was a time in Cuba, and I was waiting in line. I just wanted to get a little bit of bread. And then
I waited for hours.
And I said, this is how civilization should work. Everybody should get a little bit.
Did you see? We don't.
Did you see the town hall?
I watched some of it. I live tweeted it, which is more important. It was more entertaining than the actual town hall. But did you see? I mean, Brett Baer asked him, Bernie Sanders, aren't you the exact example of a millionaire who's made his money from selling a lot of books? Isn't that the very definition of capitalism? Bernie's answer was no. Not at all. Didn't elaborate. Didn't do anything.
If you want to be a millionaire and a billionaire, all you got to do is write a best-selling book.
Yeah, it's so easy.
You can be a senator from Vermont. You can own 3 homes and write a best-selling book.
And I just wish that he would go out there and say, "Hey, I did it. So can you." That is so much more inspiring than, "Oh, and you have to have the government come and do it for you."
Oh my God, John, the time has come.
Time has come. It's so sad.
I love you.
I said at the beginning that I'd rather be sleeping, but that turned out to not be true at all.
No, we're fun on the Chad Prather Show. I'm thinking about moving to D.C.
Don't do it.
I want to be one of the ugly people. I want to be. There it is. There's the news, right there
on the floor.
White House brief. You can go to blazetv.com/WHB. WHB.
But do me a favor. I have a promo code. It is also WHB. It gets you, I think, $10 off of your subscription.
Yeah.
So do that, and then also subscribe to my YouTube page. Just search Jon Miller. No superfluous H in John. JONMILLER. Search that in YouTube. Subscribe. Smash that subscribe button, and then if you want, because you can watch it, but you can also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and you can also just search White House brief.
Here's what I think, Johnny.
I don't want to know what you think.
Yes, you do. This is a good idea.
Okay, it's a profundity from
idea.
Chad.
Profundity. One of my favorite words. Look here, you sycophant. I think that we could do a live Blaze TV radio show every morning with the head. You and I could sit here for 4 hours. We could go with the things, and we would give the people what they want to know. And you know what? Screw you, Glenn Beck. Let me tell you something, Beck.
This is when I get out of here. Thanks, Chad. It's been a pleasure.
Let me tell you something, Glenn Beck.
I'm out of here.
The guy in the hat and the black dude are coming for you. We're coming for you. Best-selling book. All you got to do is write a best-selling book and be called Booty Judge, and you can be a millionaire that's going to be from mayor to president. I messed up my microphone. I want you guys to go subscribe, blazetv.com/WHB, White House Brief. If you're not watching Jon Miller, it's the best show that's out there. Trust me, I tell you. And I say that having a show on there. I want you to go to YouTube, subscribe at Jon Miller, subscribe at Chad Prather. Not Nothing's Impossible, because they suck. mean, they're putting the message out there, and they're Trumpites, but whatever. And then I want you to go wherever podcasts are available. I don't care if it's on Android. I don't care if it's on Apple. I don't care if it's on wherever it may be. Podcasts are available, and subscribe to the Chad Prather Show and get it. You need to download it. You need to rate it. You need to review it. And stop listening to Graham Allen, because that is farcical and it is nonstop propaganda. Okay? I love y'all. God bless you. I'm going to kiss Jon Miller. I'll talk to you next time. For the head, bye.